Okay, I didn't get a little breakfast. I'm just going to press on and finish this. We are on Chapter 5, Part 2. Y'all hear me? Chapter 5, Part 2. And if you want notifications when the next chapter pops up, hit that bell. Subscribe, hit that bell. Okay, there we go. The third and fourth to reply was Marquise and Lawrence. I received 2 letters in one day. Yay. Marquise was 33 years old, convicted of bank robbery, and due to be released in 2004. He was strong, black, Superman doing Fed time. Fed meant he was serving time in the federal prison rather than the state. He also said he would not be on parole once released. More importantly, he was not a TDCJ inmate. The rules and regulations for the state of Texas prisons and its prisoners were considered harsh compared to other states throughout the country. Marquise's description of himself was off the chain. He wrote, "He was dependable as the sunrise and mysterious as the dark side of the moon. Trusting as well as trustworthy with a down-for-you commitment. A mama's boy with a ghetto bastard attitude. A freak with endurance to last all night. Hard as a rock with a soft as cotton core. Easy to love and hard to hate." And by the way, when he say 4, he used the letter 4. When he says 2, he used the letter 2. When he writes you, he reused the letter U. He does that throughout all his letters. Okay, I'm sorry. Easy to love and hard to hate. Boy Scout honor with a thug nature. Predictable but spontaneous with a nonchalant coolness. He talked about his full lips, honey golden brown complexion, and long, sweet candy cane. He was 6'3" and 215 pounds. His picture revealed him to be bald-headed and muscular. Quite simply, he was looking for a queen to complete his kingdom. Fearless, understanding, and faithful were his major qualities. He was mentally, physically, and emotionally stable. When I came across his ad, I thought it was a little conceited, but if he didn't think it, who would? I liked his confidence in the way he flowed. When his 4-page letter arrived, I was impressed with his handwriting. It looked like calligraphy or italics. I couldn't believe a human being could write like that. He talked about his children, his own family, and how blessed he was. He liked rap music, R&B, and a little rock. He assumed I was into gospel. He had a scholarship to play football, but lost it when he threw out his knee. Unfortunately, he was a good boy who went bad. This was his 3rd vacation in the belly of the beast. Hello, Christine. I hope all is well with you now, as well as in the far and near future. You were right about me wondering who the heck you were. I'd forgotten all about that ad. It took me a while to start receiving replies. When I did, it was mostly from homosexuals. I guess they thought since I'm locked up, I'm desperate. Been locked up too long or swing that way. I had to let them know I will never be that desperate. I'll never be locked up that long. And finally, my bat never has, and I never will swing that way. Most females that responded were not quite on my level. They didn't have a clue or idea how to deal with the brother on lockdown. They don't realize it takes patience, dedication, understanding, faith, trust, and love from both the man and woman, but mostly the woman, because she is out in the free world trying to resist all the temptations and jump over all the pitfalls that happen in everyday life. It will take an extra strong woman to stand by her man while he's doing time. I will admit there are quite a few brothers on lockdown that mistake a woman's trust, kindness, and generosity as weakness. What they fail to realize is those are some of the characteristics of the strong woman they've been searching for, or at the very least, a loyal friend. I, for one, know how rare that is. My glasses won't stay up. Try to hold my head up. I replied and received a 10-page letter in return. All of his letters henceforth had numerous pages. We corresponded bi-monthly. When I received 2 pictures of him looking fly as hell, I was too through. He looked like he had just stepped out of GQ magazine. Although he wore prison clothes, his shirts and pants were creased down and he looked like he smelled good. To top it off, he had on brand new Jordan sneakers. Marquise looked like a big Hershey's chocolate bar that made me want to take a bite. But he was beyond my reach. I admired him from afar because I could not see myself falling weak for Marquise. Although I am older, I believe he could run circles around me. When he started sending me short stories, I was impressed. I could imagine myself sitting at his feet like a wide-eyed child as he schooled me on this and that. I love Marquise. He is very charismatic and with a unique sense of humor. He said, "It's nothing like a good laugh to ease the stress you are carrying." Now for Lawrence. Lawrence was serving year 12 of his sentence, only having 2 visits. I don't know what he did or how much time he had. I wrote him because he was Tyrone's cousin and he did not have any outside contact. He looked exactly like the fat boy in the movie Lean on Me starring Morgan Freeman. If you have never seen the movie, he was about 5'5", 280 pounds with brown eyes and a low-cut fade. He wrote, "Mrs. Tyrone, it was a pleasure receiving mail from you. It ain't often I get mail. Please continue writing and spreading God's word. I enjoyed meeting you and hope it was not a one-time thing, being your sister was not feeling the long ride. But I am looking to change that. Even when you don't come, I want to see her beautiful face as often as possible. Square business. She's the most beautiful person all the way around to me, and between you and me, I tend to capture her heart just as my cousin has done yours. She's what I've been looking for all my life to help guide me in the right direction. I know you understand because you are doing the same thing with my cousin, and I appreciate that. There are too many women who will stay down with the cat under these circumstances, which is when you need somebody the most. Due to me being locked up so long, everybody I thought cared about me has up and completely walked out of my life, and that really hurts. Like a bad tooth. So I count my cousin coming to this unit a blessing because I now have you and your sister in my life. Please call her and tell her she is thought about always." Lawrence wrote close to once a week. One time I wrote Lawrence and not Tyrone, and my writing became an issue between the two. I told Lawrence Tyrone was tripping. Tyrone should know I would not be interested in Lawrence like that. He likes my sister Carlin, and he is my baby's cousin. That's what I used to call Lawrence up until I met him. My baby's cousin. The following is what Lawrence's letter progressed to. I've been wanting to write you because I have some things on my mind. It's about your sister, and I don't mean to be accusing or judgmental for realizing she has let my letters go unacknowledged. If she had not intended to keep the lines of communication open, she should have said that. Am I being tested? Never before have I been victimized so deeply by a female. She has reached so deeply inside me and is toying with my emotions. Why? Then, too, I understand her situation. I'm willing to exchange her mental torture for physical handling anytime. Let me stop tripping. Christina, I noticed some things about us. Me and you share a common belief about certain things, and when someone shares a common belief on things, you tend to grow on a person. I gotta sit up. I have to admit, I have grown attached to you in a short period of time. Mainly because you have a beautiful personality and you're real down to earth, and that's what I love within a person. I need a real woman that'll be all the way down for me like I'll be down for her. I know it's easy to place on this paper, but if we continue writing, you will see that I will make a woman very happy in every aspect of life. But it'll be a difficult task because she has to prove herself. Because I'm scared to love. Every time I do, I get hurt. But I know sooner or later God will place that right woman in my life that if I cry, that'll cry when I cry, hurt when I hurt, and laugh when I laugh. I thought Lawrence was foul, but I gave him the benefit of no doubt as to friendship being his agenda. I still checked him when I wrote him. To be checked means to set a person straight or be called on your shit. Carlin was willing to be his friend but never promised anything. She was not trying to hear his noise and I wasn't either. Going from one sister to the next was the type of shit you see on talk shows like Jerry Springer. More importantly, that bullshit about you cry, I cry were lines Tyrone said months ago. Later, I learned that Lawrence was 31 years old, convicted on a charge of aggravated robbery, and would come up for parole in 2006. We continued to write once a week. The fifth to reply was Jeremiah. This was his first prison stint. He was serving year 7 of a 10-year sentence in federal prison for possessing powder cocaine. His release date was 2005. With good time in his drug class, he could go home at the beginning of 2004. He was 5'11" and weighed in at 165 pounds. He was looking for friendship with possible love in the future with a sincere, compassionate, gentle, loving, and fun woman with a great sense of humor. Race or age was not important. His rules were first, to never be too serious. Secondly, to tell himself constantly, this too shall pass. Thirdly, was to maintain a good sense of humor. Finally, to remember laughter reduces everything to its proper size. He likes reading, sports, meditation, and yoga. I chose Jeremiah because he was being held minutes away from my home. I always wondered what went on behind those prison walls when I drove past. Jeremiah said his time was very easy. He was just long being away from his family. He wrote 1 to 2 one-sided pages at best in small print. He was focused on going home, but decided to reply to my letter because he found it interesting. He said anything I wanted to know, I should feel free to ask. He never had a formal greeting. He simply jumped right in with what he wanted to say. After a few correspondences, he wrote, "Thank you for adding me to your list to bear sweet gifts and messages from the man above. As always, your letters add to the light that makes my day go a lot smoother. Christine, if there were a lot more like you, the black man wouldn't have any problems. As you bless me, I do the same for you in return. Thank you for finding the time to sit down and write someone who you only saw a picture of and read a few words. Being that my time is short, I have no problem making and meeting new friends. I'm a very cool person to get along with. I would love for you to visit, but by the time they check out, I will hopefully be going home. And what would your man think? My plea as a friend is to help her, not break up something she started from scratch. The old me wouldn't mind, but I am a better person all the way around, and that wouldn't be a very good friend of me. Thank you for the prayer. I liked it a lot. I will use it until I go home." Jeremiah and I corresponded once or twice a month. When I saw his small print handwriting on the envelope, I would say, uh-oh. I knew he was going to keep it real and get right to the point with whatever he was writing. He was very candid when answering my questions. Last but not least was Carl. He was the only one who did not reply. His ad had no picture, but he wrote a full description of himself. He was 31 years old, 5'11", and 165 pounds. He had dark brown eyes, low-cut hair, with a light brown skin complexion. He was an artist and supplied a picture he drew. He was convicted of robbery and would come up for parole in 2005. He was seeking a woman, friend, and companion to take away the loneliness. Friendship, dedication, and honesty were high on his list. He wanted someone who knows the right words to say, knows what caring was all about, and knows understanding makes a good relationship. He was not asking for anything he could not give back himself. Although I only had 3 requests for a picture, I sent copies, some more than others, to all except Carl, of course. The kids and I would take all kinds of pictures looking any type of way. I took pictures looking sleepy. Oh, it's about our time. I'll get back to it. Peace.